Hey everyone, how's it going? I am Levi, and this here is a brand new show we're doing here at Goal Line Stand. Of course, the channel is brand new, but one of the shows we plan on doing regularly is NFL news/opinions. Our goal with this show is to present top news stories to you, the viewers. Maybe you've heard them, maybe you didn't. But we want to present them to you, give our opinions, and then hear what you have to say. So hopefully we'll be able to interact with everyone, and everyone will be able to argue in the comments. Just no commenting first. What we really want to do with this show is condense all the stuff, the top stuff you see in the Sports Center in an hour, and condense it down to 5 to 10 minutes, but also give our opinions, because everybody knows our opinions matter. So, since this is our very first episode, let's just jump right into it. So the first news story we're going to tackle today is free agency. This season really hasn't been too crazy for free agency, but there have been a few big signings. Ndamukong went to the Dolphins, DeMarco Murray went to the Eagles, and Darrelle Revis is bouncing back to the Jets. Speaking of money, how much money was spent on the top 5 free agents this year? This list is compiled from NFL.com, and these are the top signings. Ndamukong signed a 6-year, $110 million contract with the Miami Fishies, with $60 million guaranteed. Darrelle Revis signed a 5-year, $70 million contract with the New York Jets.
Jets, Jets.
Julius Thomas signed a 5-year, $46 million contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Rawr. Of course, there is DeMarco Murray, who left his girlfriend of the Cowboys and went on to the East to play for none other than the Philadelphia Eagles. And they are compensating him well with a 5-year, $40 million contract with $20 million guaranteed. Then, of course, there was Mike Iupati, who signed a 5-year, $40 million contract with the Arizona Cardinals. Not really sure if that's how you say his name, but that's how I'm saying it. Mikey Iupati! Personally, I feel like Ndamukong got overpaid. I get why the Lions didn't even try to re-sign him now. I also feel it's funny that the Dolphins last year suspended a player for having bad behavior, and now they just signed the worst behaved player in the NFL. Beats me. I'm also not too sure how I feel about the Darrelle Revis deal. I feel like maybe a couple years ago he was worth that kind of money, but I just think today he's not really of the same caliber anymore of the guys who are making that kind of money, like Richard Sherman or Joe Hayden. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this, but let me know what you think. Then there's the whole situation with DeMarco Murray in Dallas. And I have to believe that for some reason DeMarco Murray made the decision to leave Dallas. And I don't think it was just money. Maybe it has to do with the fact that the team's GM is only the GM because he's so close to the owner.
The GM is the owner.
Exactly. Our next line of business has to do with players retiring early. This season we've had a few players retire young, even though technically when every player retires, aren't they retiring young? They're not 65 yet. This season there have been 4 players that have shocked the NFL by retiring early. Those 4 players are Patrick Willis, Jason Worlds, Jake Locker, and Chris Borland. Willis is 30, Worlds is 27, Locker is 26, and Borland is 24. The Washington Post had a really good article that talked about how players go through pain their entire lives, especially after their playing days are over. And while you can argue that everybody has aches and pains when they get older, this article is quoting some guys that are in their 40s. One of them is even 39. And I think people should think about the kind of pain these guys are going through before they make any kind of judgment or assumption about their retiring early. While it is important to note that Jason Worlds didn't cite injury as a reason for his retiring, he wrote through his agent that he has decided to start volunteering through Jehovah's Witnesses, which I think is totally fine. And I think that if you're going to judge them and criticize them, you need to think about, for a second, stop and think about, imagine a bunch of people, millions of people, watching every single one of your moves, you just making your career, and just imagine if everybody was judging and criticizing your decisions, especially for leaving a job that you didn't want to be in anymore. There's also an article from Business Insider that we linked in the description that talks about how much money they made and how much money they gave up by retiring early. So if you're interested in taking a look at that. Another interesting thing I thought I'd add is I read an article one time that was talking about the science behind football, talking about the amount of impact these guys are putting on themselves every Sunday is equivalent to like getting in multiple car wrecks. So if you are going to criticize someone for quitting a job because of injury, go get in a couple car wrecks and then come back and see how you feel. But that's where we're going to end today's episode. Let us know in the comments what you think about the NFL free agency moves. Am I right about the Darrelle Revis getting overpaid thing, not being worth his money? And also, what do you think about the players retiring early? And if it was you, would you give up the money? Think about it.